So, hey Kels, and so this is just me giving you guys a good overview of what I am doing and how I'm doing it. I'm going to be doing the scatter method on this cup, and yes, it is going to be a rainbow ombre. So pray for me because this is definitely going to be a challenge. So what I have here is a 20-ounce stainless steel cup, and this lovely cup, I'm going to give you guys a little secret. I have had this cup sublimated with my base design, and then because sometimes the sublimation leaves like this little white strip here, I went back over it with a little bit of acrylic paint, and then once I did that, I used triple thick clear glaze to seal this. I did this twice to make certain that I don't have any chipping or bleeding or any of that underneath the crystals once I get them glued on. So this is a sublimated cup. I did a little bit of painting. As you can see, some of it you can't really see the line and some of it you can, but it's okay because I will be covering this excess with crystals anyway. I've got her name. She wanted her name in silver, so I just got some really nice permanent adhesive vinyl from, oh, where did I go? I don't know, someplace around from my home. So I'm going to get that on here, and yes, I do want to put it over where this line is so that some of the vinyl can cover up some of this line, and the rest of it will be covered with, like I said, the crystals that I lay down. This vinyl is from the place that I have gotten that last vinyl from that I didn't really care for because it fought back, but we'll see if we like this one or not. So because I have this line and this line is really straight, it's going to make it really easy for me to get on the name. Okay, and so just gonna get it on here, and if most of you are used to doing this, then you know that if you have any issues with the bend, you can just kind of cut slits in your transfer tape to get your decal on. If you don't have issues, way to go. We'll get this on here and we will keep this thing rolling. And I am taking off some of my paint, but here we go. That's fine. All right, so we've got this on here. Not to worry about that. Do not worry. What I do worry about is the bottom of the F that did not stay on. So I'm gonna line this back up here and we'll get that on. Again, this is from that place that I don't too much care for their vinyl. All right, so we've got that on, and like I said in the beginning, this is going to be a bit of a challenge for me. Depending on how this goes, I might come back and throw on some more red paint here just to make certain I have a good background here, but we're not going to start there. We're going to start down here. As many of you know, I am one who, when I do any method, be it scatter or honeycomb, I do the name along with the outer edge because I do not use a precision tip. This is going to be the scatter method, not the honeycomb method. So because this is going to be the scatter method, I am going to start pulling out some of my crystals in all of the colors just right to like here. And we're going to start from the purple to the blue to the green and the name, which will be done in crystal, clear crystal crystals. So let me grab my scissors, which for some reason are not near my hand. Give me a hot second. I'll grab my scissors. I'll be right back. Okay, so I needed my scissors just to open my crystals, so I'm going to pull out just a few in clear because again, we're going to start down here with the silver, the purple, the blue, and we are going to ombre this. Okay, so I'm just going to pull out a few of these, not a whole lot. That is an SS20. Whenever I'm working with the scatter method, I do the name not in scatter. I follow the size of the decal. So I'm going to pull out SS20, SS16, SS12, SS10. Hey, Kelly. And some SS5. Okay. If you guys should have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask them while I am here and I'm doing this. There's been a lot of discussion in the group here this week, it seems, on price. And so if anybody has any pricing questions, any sourcing questions, any questions about anything, now is the time to ask. The first color that I'm working with at the bottom of this cup is Amethyst. I am doing Amethyst, then Sapphire, then Peridot, then Citrine, Hyacinth, and light Siam. So, because these are really small areas, I am not going to break out a whole bunch of each crystal at a time. I prefer to just break out a little at a time to make certain I don't have a whole lot to put away or to separate back out once I am moving from one color to the next. But because this will be an ombre, we're going to be moving between multiple colors pretty quickly. So it'll be a lot. Oh, really, Kelly? Well, I'm only using this purple because it was the darkest purple, and in doing this rainbow I needed a dark purple to go into the blue. So there's that. I'm not a big fan of amethyst, but you know, whatever. All right. Although I can't wait to get my hands on some of those Purple Majesty crystals. I hear those are just phenomenal. And yeah, can't wait. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, if you want to get a better view, turn your phone orientation to the side. That will give you a better zoomed in view. Of course, you won't be able to see the comments. However, you will be able to see what I am doing closer, and it'll give you a better view. Okay, so as I said before, we are starting doing the name as well as ombreing all the way up. This is something I've never done, so you know, we're all working together today, and hopefully it'll go grand, great, fun, and we'll have like the most wonderful time, and it'll be awesome. Okay, So while I am getting ready, if anybody should have any questions, like I said, feel free to ask. As I said before, there's been a lot of pricing talk in the group this week. So if you have any pricing questions, ask. If you have any technique questions, ask. Ooh, LSU fans. Yes, girl. Yes, the LSU fans are out. They are. Okay, I am going to start here. I'm really trying not to get too far into the blue just yet. I want to get some of this purple done on here. If my glue would come out. It's angry with me, you guys. I'm sorry. I have a new one. I might want to open that and then put this one in timeout. We'll talk about it after it thinks about what it did. Let's see if it's gonna work. Okay, Kelly, so you missed the first part of this. I did not completely paint this cup. This is a sublimation cup, and I just did some touch-up painting to try and hide the white strip from the sublimation. So one of my little trade secrets, don't go running and telling everybody, okay? Keep that between us and this lovely group that we have, okay? Whenever you have a project that requires something a little outside of the norm that you would do with just regular spray paint, or even, you know, putting a design on vinyl, what have you, get you a sublimation buddy if you don't sublimate, okay? Have your little sublimation buddy hook you up. My sublimation buddy hooked me up, okay? So I have a sublimation bestie, and I sent her a design, and she put it on the cup. And so, yes, I did come back and fill in some of the paint with some acrylic paints, just to hide that sublimation line as best I could. But this is a sublimated cup. And again, keep that between us. That's just our little secret, okay, everybody? I love y'all. And I give y'all secrets from time to time, and that's going to be our little secret, okay? Well, Miss Kelly, let's see. On the fence. I don't want you to be on the fence. I have seen some of your dominoes, and they are stunning. And you should not be on the fence about crystallizing. It is an amazing therapeutic experience. So if you want to get started, what I suggest for anyone who wants to get started crystallizing, don't just like jump out there and say, okay, I need every single color of the rainbow and I need it now. Don't do that. Pick a project that you think someone might be interested in. Ask a friend. You might know somebody who's getting ready to graduate. Offer to decorate their graduation cap. Whatever it may be, pick something that is not too over the top and start there. And if you just want to learn before you start taking on projects, go to Dollar Tree. There are cups there that you can get for $1. There are plenty of things there that you don't have to really spend on, and you can even go and grab some of those little acrylic stones from Michael's or somewhere to just practice with before you jump into the really good, beautiful goodies that we can get over at BeCreateful.com. But if you are a little bit more advanced than that, then I suggest you hop onto BeCreateful.com, grab yourself the little multi-pack starter kit, because that is always an awesome place to start. And I would suggest going with clear crystal or crystal AB, also known as iridescent, and starting there on whatever project you have at your doorstep. Those are the most popular colors. And every now and again you get a fun customer like mine who told me that her personality was bubbly and she wanted something just as bubbly as she is, and she really likes rainbows and tie-dyes. And so that's how I got to a rainbow cup for her. So who is next? Miss Oliver. Let me just tell you, I don't fool with sublimation, Kelly. I just, that's not my life. That's not my area. That's not my dream. I don't think about it. I call my little sublimation bestie and I'm like, hey, bestie, hey, guess what? I have a project. Hook me up. And she's like, okay, cool. When do you need it by? And I'm like, whenever you get it here. And then on my doorstep arrives my little sublimation project. So that's what happened here. And yeah. So anybody else have any other questions before I move into the next phase of this? Ooh, I like the way those amethysts. Do y'all see that? Let me get y'all a little bit closer. Oops, sorry about the noise. Can y'all see this amethyst? I like that. This is going to be so cute. Oh my goodness. Okay. So this is also going to be so hard. Why? Because I'm going to have to work with at minimum 3 colors at a time, because I'm going to be bouncing back and forth with ombreing this. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge. So now that I've got on just a little bit of the amethyst, I'm going to crack open those sapphires. I'm going to bring the sapphire crystals on this side and start to weave in sapphire around here. I probably should move some of these out of the way. I'll do that in just a hot second, because yeah, this is about to be extreme fun. Who knew we were going to have song and dance tonight? This is fabulous, you guys. Okay. But do you sand? No. No, no, no. So this is what I do. Sometimes you cannot sand. And sublimation cups, they're of a different breed, okay? So your sub cups, I don't know if any of you have ever had any experience with sublimation cups, but there's a coating on a sub cup that's even more shiny and silky smooth than your standard stainless steel cup, right? So that little coating is what bakes in the color that your printer prints out onto your little sub paper that you wrap around your wonderful tumbler and then bake in your convection oven, right? Awesome, cool, amazing. But that awesome, cool, amazing little trick that you just did with that cup in an oven where it really doesn't belong, but it does, it doesn't give you a really good surface to work with when you are trying to crystallize. So what do? Because of course, when you're working with adhesives, your adhesives need a great surface to adhere to, right? Right, we can all agree there. Cool. Well, what do? You do what I did, which is you coat your sublimation tumbler with your triple thick. I did 2 coats of that. That gives it a nice surface to work with, so that when you are ready to get your glue on and get your crystals onto your cup, that glue actually has a good little area and it's not fighting back when you are trying to get crystals on. See, Erin, I knew somebody was going to want to know that. I'm glad that you asked that. Thank you so much for hopping on here and being a team player. All right, does anybody else have any questions while I shift my focus from those amethyst crystals over to these sapphire ones? And if you guys know me, I've said it before, when I am doing the scatter method, I like a lot of the smaller crystals rather than the larger ones, just because I am a masochist and a glutton for punishment. So I use so much more of my 12s and my 10s than I do of my 16s and my 20s. But the end result is truly phenomenal, extraordinarily beautiful. So if you can stomach it, I would highly suggest you try that out. I like to have the 16s and the 20s more as accent pieces rather than main parts of my work. Okay, let's see. Does E6000 work better than super tight? I've been finding glue is drying really fast. Okay, so here's the deal. With the super tight multi-grab 360, one thing you have to remember is if you are not an avid crystallizer, if you're not one of those people who are on here or blinging every day, all day, and that's just like what you do, then you need to not use that. You may want to stick with the fusion tack. And if you guys give me a second to get this glue here because it's wet, if y'all give me just a hot second to kind of get some crystals on all of it, I'll go grab that adhesive for you so you can know exactly what I'm talking about. But the reason why you may want to use that is because it has a longer drying time. Oh, girl, Kelly, you are missing out, girl. I absolutely love scatter. But yeah, the fusion tack has a longer drying time. So it's kind of like using the E6000 low odor, the new one that has just recently hit. That one is extraordinarily liquidy, but it works. And it's very good for those folk who are not really fast-paced workers. If you work a little slow, or if you just kind of, you know, are in the beginning phases, even if you work faster, but you kind of need a little time just in case you want to go back or change your mind or what have you, then you want something that has a little bit of forgiveness in its work time, which that multi-grab 360 does not. So if that's what you are after, I do not suggest going with the 360. I suggest getting the fusion tack. That works a little bit better. Okay, guys, I told y'all this would be a challenge for me, and it is. Who knew? But nonetheless, we will make it work. Okay, so let's see. We've got a couple of other questions. Miss Kelly again. What you got going on, beauty? I haven't done the ombre, but I think scatter would look better with yeah, I kind of felt the same way. I've done ombre with honeycomb before. I think I did a video in the group. I don't believe it was a live. I think it was just a time lapse. It was a pink and purple cup that I did with some amazing stones from Be Createful that I really liked. And my daughter begged and begged and begged for me to make her a cup, and get this, she doesn't even drink out of it today. Like, I could punch her in her eyeballs. But, you know, y'all know how kids are. Okay, so I need to try some new glues too, because I've only used Liquid Fusion. Liquid Fusion is a nice one, but what I find with Liquid Fusion is that it doesn't have quite the grip on stainless steel. But give me a hot second, I'll go grab the fusion tack so you guys know what I'm talking about if you want to try this out and you need that longer wait time. I mean, that longer work time. Hang on a hot second. And here it is. it is this lovely stuff. Okay, can you guys see? Now, I have heard several people use this stuff, and one lady, I believe, just recently said she used this on a cup with a friend or someone who uses their cup daily and have been having it for like a year and no issues. Now, again, this is white. It does not dry white. This dries clear. But if you need something where you have extra work time so that you can get, you know, your ducks in a row, or your crystals rather in a row, this is probably what you want to use, and it will dry clear. Okay, you can also find this on Be Creative. So if you're having a problem with the Fusion, with the Super Tight 360, grab the Fusion Tech. You'll be happy. Let's see who else. Listen, Miss Kelly. Okay, it's a lot of stuff that I never see again because this little girl asked 9 million times for something. I give it to her and it's like, what happened to the cup? Did I just make you one? And she's like, I don't want it. Okay. Yeah, Kelly, there you go. See, it came in the bling box. So you're already a step ahead of the competition, girl. Get to it. Okay, so here we are with the 3 crystals at once. So again, this cup is certainly one that is a challenge for me. I've not done one where I've had so many different colors, especially rocking out into an ombre at once. So this is fun for me. Something new. New is always fun, right? Remember, this is an ombre, so I'm going to be pushing the blue down into the purple, and the purple up into the blue, because it is supposed to fade, of course, from one color into the other. So yeah, that's what's going on here. This one is probably going to take me a little bit longer than my usual work time, just because when you have a pattern of this magnitude, you have to be a bit intentional about how you get your crystals on. Not necessarily the size, but definitely the color. And so that can kind of give a bit of a challenge. So if you guys see me scrambling, it's because I'm a tad bit size or color challenged, and I just need to make certain I'm getting the right thing in the right spot. Okay, so I see a little bit more activity over here. Give me one hot second to finish this little spot, and I will look up and answer your question. Okay. Okay, Kelly, so this is a really good question, guys. Kelly said most people tend to do their name first and then they go back and do the rest of it. And if you've seen my lives, and by now you know that I am not most people, and that is not how I typically operate when I am doing a cup. And I have several reasons for that. Everybody need not follow my lead on this one, because again, I've been doing this for a very long time, and the experience that I have and the way that I do things is not necessarily the experience that you have or the way that you may do things. So it'll definitely vary just because I do things differently. A lot of you guys will grab a precision tip bottle, and I don't use a precision tip. I don't like it. I've tried it. I've tried it out recently again, thinking maybe, hey, I'm like not doing right, and maybe I need to get my life in order and try it again, and it just doesn't work for me. And because it doesn't work for me, I have to find other ways to crystallize and make things fit properly. So because of that, I use just glue straight out the bottle. And in doing the gluing straight from the bottle, there are some challenges that present with tight spaces. So when I am crystallizing, because in between your name and your outline, background, whatever you want to call it, there will be some tight spaces. For me, I need to do it all at the same time. For the person using the precision tip, you do not, because for you, you can get a small drop of glue in that itty bitty microscopic spot, whereas I cannot by pouring straight from the bottle. So that is why I do my name and my background at the same time. Hey Valencia girl, I missed you. Hey. So let's see. Thanks for always being generous with your wealth of knowledge. Oh, you are so sweet. That's why I love you. You're one of my favorites. Hey, hun. How's it going? All right, Miss Margaret. Thank you for joining in. Okay, guys. So let's get back to what I have done so far. As you can see, we've got the amethyst. We've got some of these blue dripping down into the purple, and the purple is kind of dripping up into the blue. I'm going to have a few more as I go around this, but since I am not concentrating on the rest of the cup right now, I just want to get through the name, or at least up to here, and then I'll come around and do the rest before I decide to put up all of my purples and move on to the next color. This is why I am doing this like this. So if anybody has any questions, now is definitely the time to ask them before I continue to move on. Okay, Miss Kelly. You are welcome, Miss Kelly. Again, that's just how I do it. Not everybody works the same. I understand, and that's fine. If that's how you work, that's how you work. You know, I always say whatever stuff's your Twinkie. If that's what it does for you and it works for you, do what works for you. Don't follow somebody else's lead. Okay? So while we are on here and we are speaking about following the leader, I have said it a couple of times. We are going to discuss it now. There has been quite a bit of discussion here lately regarding pricing. And it's a little bit disheartening, I'll say, to see some of you guys with the most phenomenal work I have seen, and you guys are not properly pricing your work. Now, there are tons of crafting calculators out there. It's literally a gazillion of them. If you Google craft calculator, it's like the amount of results that will come up will completely blow your mind. Okay, so I say that to say this. I don't use a crafting calculator, and the reason why I don't use a crafting calculator is because you are not paying me based on my work. You're not paying me based on my time. You are not paying me based on the effort I put into whatever project I am doing for you. If I make a shirt, you are paying me for the shirt, the materials, of course, any labor that goes into it. But the reality is you are paying me for the near 20 years experience I have with making shirts. Okay. So earlier in the week, I said that for my crystallization work, I like to charge $20 an hour. It's pretty much what my stuff roughly comes out to be. And the reason for that is, while some of you prefer to charge 10 or you know, 8 or minimum wage, whatever it is. The reason for that is I have been doing this for nearly 20 years. So when somebody comes to me and they say, hey, I want you to do this, I want you to make this, I want you to do that, I want you, they're not saying they want me just because it sounds good. They're saying they want me because of the reputation that I have. So yeah, you're not paying me because you know I can do the work. You're paying me because of the reputation. And here's the thing. When people don't at the very least charge for the time, the work, the materials, the effort, etc., then you have pricing for something like a fully crystallized tumbler in this size, and somebody wants to sell it for $65. And that's just not good. What you don't want to do is start doing stuff like that. Even if you are new, even if you're just breaking out into it, even if you're just saying, hey, these are just my starter prices. The reason why I say that is a horrible thing to do is because, one, when you jump into a situation and you make your prices lower than they should be, people start to expect that. You start to attract the customer that only wants to pay the lower pricing. That's number one. Two, when you start to do that, not only do they expect the lower pricing from you, but they expect the lower pricing from the industry. So people who have been doing this for 20, 30 years, like myself, then someone comes along and they see the price that I have and they say, oh, well, I can go to such and such or so and so and get this for XYZ price. So what you're doing is you're cheapening the labor, and that's not what you want to do. You don't want to have your price where people feel like it's not worth it to pay whatever that is, whatever it should cost, because you are just starting out and you're afraid to charge what it should be priced at. So let's not do that. This is why I tell people all the time, do not lower your price just because that particular customer is not ready or willing to pay that price. So with that said, this cup in my hand is a $200 cup. Yeah. She paid $200. So was I afraid to post my cup at $200? Nope. Was I afraid to explain to her why this cup was $200? Nope. And neither should you. We put a lot of time, energy, effort, back breaking, neck breaking, and everything else into this work. Don't cheapen your work, okay? So that's my little 5-minute pricing strategy for you guys. So now I'm going to go back to questions. What do we have here? Yes, Valencia, this is a straight sublimation tumbler. It's a 20 ounce. My favorite is people shopping for the lesser price with the best quality. And while I'm a good shopper as well, I believe my time and experience, they don't like my pricing. Hey, listen. You are absolutely correct, Miss Kelly. There is a young lady that is on TikTok, and she is saying how people tell her they want to support her business, but her price is just too high. And she's like, that's okay. If you broke, you can just say that. You can come back when you got it, because here's the thing. I'm not changing my price. My price is my price. And the reason why my price is my price is for what I've just outlined to you guys. It is highly important that you do not cheat yourself, that you do not set the standard of low pricing for your customers, okay? They need to not only know that, yeah, they're going to pay the price here for your work, which is actually what it is worth, but they are going to get the quality that goes along with it. Nobody walks into the Mercedes-Benz dealership expecting to pay Kia prices, okay? And not to say that what you're selling is Mercedes-Benz prices, but here it is. If you just put 6 hours into a tumbler, explain to me why the cup costs less than $100. I just kind of need some explanation. There's no reason why that cup should cost less than $100. So understand that you're going to attract what you price for, okay? That's what you are going to attract. If you don't want people to complain that, hey, last week I bought this and blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Understand your time is valuable and this work is one of a kind and it is priceless. And if you don't see yourself like that, your customers will not see you like that. Okay, my rant is over. Anybody else have any other questions while I continue to figure out some more little design elements on this pretty cup? This is going to be so pretty. Anyone? Okay. So I am running out of blues over here. All right, so again, here I am. I've got my clears following along that vinyl. I've got the blues. As I go on this line, I will drop blue and purple just above and just below so that they kind of go ombre all the way around. It'll be far less purple because this purple just isn't the best. And as I get into the green, I am using Peridot, Citrine, Hyacinth, and light Siam. So again, if anybody has any questions, please. interest of not yapping longer and having this video be much longer than it already is, I'm going to put you guys back onto high speed to do this topper. You might have to work with me a little bit because, again, it's one of those do as you go type things. So I'm going to start with my SS20 here around the rim. I've already gotten my magnets on my topper, so everything's done. We are going to get going. First thing I always do is my outer edge. So I'm just going to do just a little bit here. And then after doing this little bit, I will swap this video to high speed because, yeah, you guys don't really care to see me work slowly. So we are going to do a little bit and then high speed it. And I'm so sorry if you guys can hear that thunder. It just seems like the weather has decided to turn against me here in Houston, but that's okay. I will get some full videos tomorrow in the sun if the sun will let me be great. So hopefully by the time this tutorial is posted, I will have some sunshine videos and not just some inside under the ring light videos for you guys to see with some of these awesome colors that I'm going to rehash really quickly while we're talking. At the bottom of the cup, I used Amethyst, then I used Sapphire. On top of Sapphire is Peridot. On top of Peridot is Citrine. On top of Citrine is Hyacinth. On top of Hyacinth is light Siam. Of course, I used clear crystal for the name, and I am using clear crystal for this topper. I will also be working on one that is done in AB crystals because that's, of course, my all-time fave. Just love AB. So I will definitely be doing that for those of you who are like me and can't get enough of the iridescence. Okay, as for the topper that I am using, I have the smaller car coaster mold that I filled with epoxy, let sit for 3 days in the mold so that it would not just set but harden. Once I took it out of that, I used my Dremel to get it sanded down just the right size for my tumbler. And then I had to sand out the straw spot right here. I grabbed my UV activated epoxy to deal with getting the magnets onto the topper as well as onto the cap. Did that. That took about 5 minutes total. So if you are considering creating your own rather than buying, it is possible. I do suggest grabbing a hand Dremel though, because that's what I did. That's what I used to get this down. But okay, so again, this is how I get it started. Almost done going around here with the SS20. And once I go around, I'm not completely certain how I'm going to fill this bottom base layer up. We will see as this goes along, but glad to have you guys here for this journey. And now I'm going to switch to high speed and we'll finish this topper. Okay guys, so I had my pickup tool sitting like this so that these would stay propped up as the glue dried, And now I'm going to switch adhesives to one that dries quicker so that I can get my last few crystals in here and prop up these crystals even more so and be done. So I am swapping to the super tight 360 multi-grab or multi-grab 360. It dries a whole lot faster, so this is the better one for me to use in this instance for what I need done. Okay, it cures really quickly. So with that fast curing, I'm going to take one of these and I'm gonna push it in here, slide it all the way to the back underneath those two. As you could see, those kind of lifted up just a little bit more. And slide another one, give it a little bit more lift on that side. It's kind of hard to see because of the way that is underneath there, so I'm so sorry if you guys couldn't see that. I'm going to drop just a little bit more of this multi-grab 360 in here and stack some more of these pendants in here. And so that's going to stick right onto that glue. I'm probably going to drop some right here and drop a couple more crystals here. Yeah, you are kind of stacking on top, which is a pain in the butt because you are using your more expensive crystals. However, the reason why I do it that way is because for the parts that aren't really stacked or where you can see through, you still get that ultra gorgeous bling. So yeah, I stack them with the, there you go. And so now we've got where you'll see the bling on this side, you'll see the bling over there, and as you can see, we have a fully done topper. So we grab our little cap and boom, there you go. So our cup is now finished. It's got its beautiful topper, and there you go. I'm gonna take this off and sit it up to continue to cure, and I will have some sunlight videos for you tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so you can be notified as new videos come up, and be sure to check me out online at crystallizedbysparkle.com. If you don't make cups but you want me to make one for you, I have these listed on my website there. And for all of my crafters, these nifty little trays will also be listed by next week. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.